guys. So we have our moon moving into Virgo today. That means the moon is preparing to set up for our full moon in Virgo that is actually going to be happening on Friday the 18th, very early hours. We will be talking about that in the coming days, but there's actually an emphasis on the moon energy, the moon vibration going on in the chart today. An aspect of illumination may be coming to us in some type of a way. Today is not the day, you guys, where we want to be making important decisions of any kind. Let's just put that out there up front. However, intuitive guidance and really like tapping into our higher selves and gaining some spiritual clarity or some spiritual illumination about things is possibly in the air today. So let's jump into the report, you guys. Let's talk about everything that we have coming at us today in our beautiful day of astrology energetics. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 15th, 2022. My name is Aubrey and this is your astrological outlook of the day. So we're talking about a Virgo moon today. We're talking about a major conglomeration of planets going on right now in the sign of Pisces. We're talking about energy building into a full moon in Virgo and Pisces that's going to be happening over the next couple of days. And today we're also talking about that moon in Virgo making an opposition to Mercury and also a trine to Uranus in Taurus. Virgo, earth sign, Taurus, earth sign, 120-degree angle trine aspect. So that is primarily what we're looking at in terms of the aspects today. Now, let's talk about Virgo for a minute. Virgo is ruled by what planet? Virgo is ruled by Mercury, ruling the mind, ruling linear thinking, our conscious thoughts, being very orderly and practical and grounded, down to earth, attention to detail, all of these really nice Virgo tendencies. And usually when we have a moon in Virgo, it really, gives us an ability to get organized and to pay attention to detail and to get paperwork or writing or communications done that we need to, or to just have a greater affinity for staying on task and, being on routine and schedules and all this type of stuff. Usually when we have the moon in Virgo, we're more inclined to that type of feeling, interaction, behavior, whatever. However, this is a little bit of a different Virgo moon that we have going on today because of all of these planets in the sign of Pisces. Virgo and Pisces are oppositional signs. So we have this moon in Virgo that, would like to align to those more grounded, practical, linear, thought-based Virgo energies. However, it's really just reflecting on all of this Pisces energy that we have going on. And considering that Virgo and Pisces are oppositional signs, Pisces essentially is the exact opposite of the Virgo vibe. Pisces is very dreamy, very not wanting to have to pay attention to detail and be practical and down to earth and navigate difficulties and deal with, reality-based issues, and really wants to sort of just be in a fantasy land and connecting to spirit and feeling all the good happy vibes and playing and enjoying life and enjoying the moment and being caught in the vision or caught in the illusion or caught in the ideal or caught in the fantasy, just very much connected to the higher possibilities and potentials and these really feel good, lovey-dovey, happy, very creative and inspired vibrations. So you see, Virgo really wants to have a plan and a list and tackle it and get things done. But Pisces really just sort of wants to escape all of that and, let's just sit here and fantasize and create and connect. And so when we have the moon in Virgo making the opposition to all of these planets in Pisces, this is really hindering the moon's ability to adhere to those more virgin, Virgoian, however you say that, qualities. And to make it even more significant in this energy today, again, Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is currently in the sign of Pisces, and that moon in Virgo will be forming in opposition to Mercury in Pisces today. So first of all, generally, when we have a moon opposing Mercury, this is an obvious dichotomy, polarity, separation, distance going on between our mind and our emotions. It's also a reflection, and there's an opportunity to sort of bounce emotions and feelings sort of off of each other, and it can really actually produce a really great balance and integration. However, the opposition also represents an imbalance to some extent, and sort of being on opposing sides of things. And so just generally, when we have the moon in opposition to Mercury, this can sort of create like a push and pull between our feelings, our emotions, what's going on inside of us, represented by the moon, maybe our intuitive like urges and stuff like that, and our mind, our rational thought, our conscious cognitive whatever's going on, the things that we are tangibly thinking about. This is like the difference sort of between how we're feeling versus how we're thinking, sort of being at odds with each other. And generally, when we have the moon forming an opposition to Mercury, this is not a great day to make decisions because we're not thinking clearly. Our thoughts are sort of really muddled by our feelings and our emotions are sort of, at odds with our rational mind and our thoughts. And so this generally is not a good energy to make decisions in when we have this very emotional sort of like our mind's just not really at its full like strength and seeing things clearly energy. And then when we consider that not only are the moon and Mercury in opposition today, but the moon is in Mercury's sign, forming the opposition to Mercury in Pisces, who's coming into a conjunction with Jupiter, and we have the Sun and Neptune in Pisces as well. This is definitely like a much more dreamy energy. We don't want to be making decisions in this energy because we are not seeing things clearly. We are having a tendency to be caught up in some type of an illusion. Like I was saying in my report yesterday, things generally in this energy that's unfolding this week are not as they appear. Universe is actually in the process of trying to break us free from some very long-standing illusions or false narratives or false beliefs that we've been operating under for one reason or another. But in order to do that, it's almost like it's presenting us with illusions that are so grandiose and so great that it's forcing us to see the cracks in them so that we can pull our own selves out. Because a lot of times when we're caught in some type of an illusion, it doesn't matter, what anyone tries to tell us, because this is our lens. This is our lens of perception and how we're viewing things. We have to figure it out for ourselves in order to make the shift and to see the reality. And so it's almost like that's what universe is doing for us right now, is creating these illusions that we are operating under that are so, like I said, grandiose and just so over the top that we're like, really? Like, really? And so we're starting to figure it out for ourselves. And that's really the way that this process has to happen, because that is how the wisdom is gained. That is how the healing occurs. We have to do it ourselves. But that's sort of the energy that we're in right now, is being presented with these illusions. And it's like, can we maintain our faith? Like, can we maintain our authentic truth within us that we know to be true despite this projection that's being presented to us at this point in time? Can we see the fallacies in the 3D projection? And can we maintain the truth that is operating and happening on this fifth dimensional higher level and actually bring that down, manifest it in spite of these illusions? Can we crack through these illusions? Can we destroy these illusions with our own sense of clarity? That's, I feel like, sort of the lesson that universe is pushing us to grow into right now with the energy this week and all of this sense of illusion. Because, also, we have, like I've been mentioning, this huge grouping of planets going on in the sign of Pisces. Pisces rules illusions and projections and deceptions and things being foggy and cloudy and unclear. But it also rules the connection to the spiritual planes and an ability to receive like real, true, divine guidance, and an ability with Jupiter here coming in as well. This energy is bringing truth to the illusion. It's cracking through. It's destroying the illusion through this like evolution and conscious awareness, essentially, that's coming through. But it's just all over the energy right now. And with that moon in Virgo today opposing Mercury in Pisces, we do not want to be making important choices or important decisions based on things that are presenting themselves in this moment. We're just not thinking clearly, but things are in the process of being illuminated. It's actually all over the Sabian symbols today as well, aside from the fact that we have Jupiter coming into the conjunction with Neptune. And we really need to pay attention to what is coming through today. Maybe not make a decision on it, but definitely we need to be paying attention Overall, though, this vibe coming from the moon in Virgo today, I'm feeling like, unlike normally, this makes us really sharp and kind of clear about things, you know, with the moon in Virgo. But with the moon in Virgo making the opposition to Mercury in Pisces, this is definitely, I feel like, going to be feeling like some type of fantasy land that we might be living in today. Like, but again, it's sort of that vibration, like, you know, like really, this is what's happening right now. Like, I don't know. This is what seems to be happening right now, but for some reason, it just doesn't seem like this is actually what's going on, type of thing. So we need to just be aware of that. And again, like, I'm overly stressing, I feel like, but not the day for making important decisions based on, you know, really anything, because we're just not seeing the whole picture. We're not thinking clearly. And there may be some, you know, inner frustrations or some tension or some just general like irritation or discomfort today coming from that moon Mercury opposition, just because the moon in Virgo, like, it does want us trying to get stuff done. Like, we might be trying to plan and trying to organize and trying to, you know, make our lists and stay on schedule and do what we need to do, cross our I's and dot our T's and keep our ducks in a row, but it's just like not working out. Like, that is sort of, you know, how I'm thinking this energy might play out. And we really, though, like, what it is good for, what this energy really is good for, you guys, is healing. Because Virgo, this is also the sign of the healer, and really sort of taking accountability for the things that we've created, the things that we've produced, and you know, our harvest, so to say. And this is very good energy for tapping into spiritual guidance, going inside, and like going through some type of an emotional healing process. Like, that could also be something that would be a good way to utilize this energy today, sort of being more introspective, more self-analytical, more open to possibilities, really looking at our issues and trying to heal. Or, you know, also like working with the earth and stuff like that, like gardening and stuff might be a therapeutic way to deal with this energy today, just considering we do have the moon in Virgo and things, you know, general moon in Virgo type activities may not be going the way that they usually go today. So there's that. And should I do the Sabian symbols now, or should I talk about, well, let's talk about Uranus real quick, since I just sort of like transitioned into that by saying that things just might not go as expected today. I think I just said something like that. But another reason things might not go as expected today is because we also have the moon in Virgo, as I mentioned in my intro, going to be forming a trine to Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, expect the unexpected, shocks, surprises, things happening spontaneously and out of the blue. However, this being a trine aspect, things may actually be falling into place for us in some type of a way today. There may be some unexpected encounters coming in. Also, probably feeling a pretty strong sense of like liberation or just like independence, sort of like doing our own thing today for sure. And this is sort of universe rearranging things in a positive way, a good way, a gentler way, I should say, at this point in time. You know, when universe is... I keep calling Uranus universe for some reason. I've literally done that like several times over the past couple days. I don't know why. But when Uranus is in effect, things are generally being rearranged, especially at this point in time, rearranged in a way that is helping us to transition vibrationally into the age of Aquarius, because Uranus is really like the name of the game vibration when we're talking about age of Aquarius energy. And really this whole past year has been a feature of Uranus and Saturn, an aspect, Uranus trying to bridge us into the new world, crack us out of the old world, really throwing things up in the air, breaking us free from long established orders and ways of things that have been done, and helping us to shift our vibration and like come to the place where we can begin to move forward and create the age of Aquarius. Uranus is a very critical and important factor in this process, the vibrations that it represents and emanates. But Uranus is generally rearranging things for us. That's sort of what it does. Uranus is like the galactic fixer, the great rectifier is what I like to call Uranus. Uranus comes in and when we can't make a change for ourselves, makes it for us. And with the square aspects, it can have a tendency of not being so fun or easy. But with the trines and with the sextiles, these are much more gentle aspects, and it's just sort of happening. Like it's just sort of falling into place with less of sort of like a challenging backlash, I guess you could say. So there could just be some interesting things going on today, especially, with all of this Pisces energy. Like this is so like metaphysical. Like this energy is so like spiritual and metaphysical, like, and just like the invisible planes of reality becoming visible and really changing our perspective, or just, coming into this new information and these new things that we're learning that are just expanding our mind and like opening our hearts and our ability to resonate to and channel and work with the, spiritual frequencies. And this 2022 year, you guys, with this Neptune Jupiter conjunction coming in, it really is going to be like another spiritual renaissance, like what happened in the 1900s. People are really going to start waking up to and embracing a lot of the more tangible spiritual truths of this reality and beginning to work with and incorporate them in their conscious lives and co-creating and manifesting with God and universe. And that is another way, another aspect, another facet of how this shift of the ages happens into the age of Aquarius, the age of self-knowledge, self-empowerment, self-mastery, and co-creation with God and universe. Really very interesting times that we are in right now. But that may be another thing that we have going on today. Just sort of interesting, unexpected changes, experiences, encounters alongside of our sort of like fantasyland vibes that we have going on today, and perhaps an inability to really get anything streamlined, significant done. And maybe just like this sort of push and pull going on between our emotions and our mind. That's basically what we have in terms of the transits of the energy today. Let's talk about the Sabian symbols now, because like I said, they're giving us some indications about what is also happening under these energetics. Now, we have the sun today coming to 27 degrees of Pisces. Now, you guys, when I'm reading the Sabian symbols, I'm always rounding up a degree. So if you're looking at the chart alongside of this report and you see that it's a degree off from what I'm saying, it's because I'm reading the Sabian symbols, and we always round up a degree when we're looking at the Sabian symbols, because we read the energy that is incoming instead of the energy that is like waning out and dissipating. Also, for those of you who don't know what the Sabian symbols are, they're a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. And whenever there's a planet at a specific point making an aspect, we can just look at the symbol and it gives us more information about potentially what role this aspect is playing in this constantly unfolding story that is being brought to us by the cosmos and the stars. So that's what the Sabian symbols are, and I'm always looking at them alongside of the aspects, because again, I just feel like it's like another side to the story. It helps us in the interpretation of the why, in my opinion, of the transit at this point in time, or even a planet being at any specific degree or specific point. So 27 degrees of Pisces, where the sun is today, the harvest moon illuminates the clear autumnal sky. So, I was talking about the influence of the moon today, the significance of the moon today, and this is, especially with the sun being at a degree, talking about the moon while the moon is preparing to set up in opposition to the sun. The moon actually is in the oppositional sign of the sun right now, moving to the end of Virgo, where it will form the exact opposition for our full moon on Friday, is speaking about the moon, and it illuminates the clear autumn sky. So the position of the sun today is talking to me, and we're talking about the moon. It's talking about the moon. This is our intuition. This is that like inner knowing, that inner guidance is being illuminated. So again, like I feel like there's an aspect of the energy today, just this moon influence, this very strong intuitive influence that is trying to illuminate some things for us. Now we also have Mercury, the planet ruling the mind, right? Ruling the sign of Virgo, who that moon in Virgo will be opposing today at 11 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is men traveling a narrow path, seeking illumination. So we have two Sabian symbols today, keywords illumination, illuminates, illumination. And again, this is the position of the mind in Pisces. Now, the mind in Pisces, this is not that clear, rational, streamlined thinking. This is more of that fantasy type dreamy energy, dreamy mind, visualization, creative, like very high heart love energy, just very, very, very creative, very imaginative mental energy. And it's talking about this path, traveling this path, seeking illumination, while we also have the sun talking about the moon illuminating the sky. The sign of Pisces is also ruling our intuition, our spiritual connection. So there is a major, major emphasis in the energy today, you guys, of our intuition really ruling the day, as opposed to our more like critical faculties of our mental cognition and of our mind. We are not so much in our linear streamlined thinking today. We are very, very much in our right brain, spiritually infused, creative, like connected fantasy, imagination type energy, which also is a very important part of our mind, because this is the part of the mind where we can really truly imprint our desires when we are going through the process of manifestation. This is where we, this is where we make our blueprints that we want to create and bring down into the physical world through this place of imagination, through this exact type of Pisces energy today. So this is really, really good energy for using your inner vision to align with your passions and desires. Venus and Mars together as well in the sign of Aquarius for the future, and really create a strong imprint of that in your own imagination that, then moves to our subconscious mind, and then therefore can communicate with the spiritual planes and dimensions and begin to manifest and form in our physical reality. That is how this law of this reality works and always works. And that's why our thoughts and what we have in our mind is so important. And especially when we have this Pisces energy, we need to make sure that we are maintaining positive visualizations in our mind's eye with this hypercharged imaginative energy. But definitely the intuition and something gaining some type of an illumination today coming through, both that moon in Virgo, speaking to intuition and our, inner knowing, as I said, being referenced multiple times by the sun, by its placement, opposite Mercury, talking about this illumination coming through. We also have, Venus today at 10 degrees of Aquarius, a man who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal is made to realize that as a person, he is not that ideal. This is talking about, again, like reevaluating our priorities, reevaluating our ideals. Maybe this illumination that we're gaining today is really giving us, again, with that Virgo moon, this introspective energy, a good idea of maybe where we are off course in terms of our own authentic ideals and where we have been sort of molding ourselves to fit the ideals that have been presented to us as such, but maybe are not truly our authentic version of that and what we consider to be the ideal at this point in time, gaining some illumination in some way or another. And then we have Jupiter at 18 degrees of Pisces. I've been talking about this degree for a couple days. In a gigantic tent, villagers witness a spectacular performance. Again, with this whole theme of shows and projections and illusions with Jupiter at this degree, this is telling me that the higher truth at this point in time is that really the whole world is a stage, and we are sort of witnessing a spectacular performance that may or may not be organic and authentic and real in its actual functioning or even its origins. It could be very much, just a performance, a show that we're watching at this point in time that isn't actually what's really going on. And Jupiter expansion at this degree promotes the projection of spectacular performances. So we just need to keep that in mind. We also have Neptune at a materializing medium giving a seance, and Pluto at 29 Capricorn, a woman reading tea leaves. Again, to me, this is super emphasizing this really profound ability right now that we have to connect to these spiritual planes, to genuinely receive guidance. This veil is so thin right now, and we are in a process of being schooled by universe on how to navigate the new energy that is coming in right now and the spiritual laws of this reality. And this is an opportunity for us right now in this energy with the veil between worlds so thin and the spiritual dimension and the physical dimension so tightly merged at this point in time to really begin interacting with our higher selves, with God, divine, universe, asking for guidance, asking for symbols, synchronicities, asking for, specific answers to our questions in ways that we can tangibly understand, that we can apply and help us on our path. But it's also saying, the other side of that is this need to have this really profound faith in what is unfolding for us and the divine plan and the higher plan at this point in time, because it is really all like spectacular. You want to talk about a spectacular performance? This whole blueprint that is unfolding right now, that is transitioning us into the age of Aquarius, this is a spectacular performance. This is like just the whole way that this is playing out, and the activations that are taking place at the time that they're taking place, and the way that they're taking place in the context of the overall and where we're going and the bigger picture. It's really magical and so amazing and so incredible and so just brilliant, genius, divinely, God, universe, so amazing in the way that all of this is unfolding. But we just can't get lost in the illusion right now. The 3D and like the 5D, the higher overall, what's actually coming down but just isn't necessarily visible to us yet. There's a huge polarity going on between those, and we really just cannot get caught in appearances at the moment, because the whole world is a stage at this point in time, and we are witnessing a spectacular performance. So that's really what I have going on, where I really want to talk about for this energy today. That moon in Virgo in the opposition to Mercury in Pisces, dreamland, fantasyland, excellent, excellent, excellent for manifestation, for envisioning, for imprinting, for imagination type stuff, journaling, writing, creating, all of that. High heart energy, very strong right now. Unexpected things perhaps going on, but definitely probably a day where we're struggling to stay on task, and could be like just some unexpected things going on. Again, with Uranus in play, universe is helping to put things back in the right order, rearranging things for us. So that's what we got going on for the astrology today, you guys. Let's talk about some tarot cards for a minute. I was shuffling the deck this morning, asking God, Spirit, Universe, please give me some cards to clarify the collective energy of what we have going on right now. We got 5 cards again, plus the back of the deck. Now, it's a lot of cards, but it's basically a pretty simple message. The first card that we had coming out of the deck was the 5 of Wands. And this is a card about fighting something, pushing back against something, just conflict generally. So like, what's the conflict? And then the next card that we had coming out was the 8 of Cups, except for it's in reverse. And so this is telling me, and then after that, we had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And then we had the 8 of Swords. And then we had Temperance. And then on the back of the deck, we had the 8 of Pentacles. We actually got 3 8 cards today. 888. Major transformations in this energy going on today. Major illumination coming through that is likely to be transforming things for us in some type of way. This also has 888. This is also bringing in abundance and having to do with resources and connections to other people. So interesting with that. But anyways, okay, so 5 of Wands, what are we in conflict about? What are we fighting about? Well, these 3 cards in combination, 8 of Cups in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and then the 8 of Swords. This is telling me that essentially, like, we may be dealing with some inner conflict. We may be like fighting ourselves in some type of a way. We may be resisting what is happening, or what we're seeing, what we're viewing, what is presenting itself to us at this point in time. It may feel like, again, like it's hard to believe where we're at right now and what's happening maybe in some type of way, because we have the 8 of Cups in reverse. Now, the 8 of Cups, this card is generally about walking away from something, having to leave something behind, something that we've loved or something that we've cared about, something that has been meaningful to us but is just not serving us anymore for some capacity, and needing to walk away and leave it behind. The 8 of Cups, this is also sort of like our self-healing journey. Like, that is another way that this card can be referenced, like sort of having to leave the past behind and go on this journey within ourselves to find, the 9 of Cups, our wishes and desires and what we really want in life. But anyways, with this card in reverse, this is talking about not wanting to necessarily detach from things, or not wanting to necessarily walk away for something, or not wanting to like leave something in the past that we've been sort of emotionally bound to. However, this process is actually like it's going against fate. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Like it's working against what universe is trying to do for us at this point in time. And then, you know, the eight of swords, this is being in a self-imposed prison of the mind, of our own thoughts. So with these three cards and the Five of Wands, it has me feeling like today there might be some aspect of the collective energy that has us sort of resisting against the changes that need to happen right now based on fears or being caught up in our own thoughts, and it actually working against what universe is trying to do for us right now with the with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. But then we got the Temperance card after that coming in. So to me, this is sort of like that intuition or that spiritual connection or that spiritual knowing or some type of higher level of balance or acceptance or understanding. I mean, we have the Eight of Cups. It's interesting because we have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords. This is the moon and this is the mind. This is, you know, this would be, this is cups. This is the emotions. This is the moon energy. And this is the swords. This is the Mercury energy. This is the mind in opposition today. And we have both of these cards coming up with this one in reverse. It's like emotional. It is like our emotions and our mind, sort of them being at odds today in some type of a way or another, creating some type of mental conflict within us that perhaps is actually like working against the process that universe is trying to take us through right now. But then we have this Temperance energy coming in, which is talking about restoring that balance perhaps between this mind and the emotions through, this is an angel, you know, with a crown and enlightenment. This is that spiritual enlightenment that is coming in and that is bridging these two energies. And then on the back of the deck, we got the Eight of Pentacles. So it's really about, you know, putting in the work and staying focused and staying on task in terms of our spiritual connection and allowing ourselves to be guided by that higher power and asking for that guidance and opening to it and allowing it to heal us. Temperance is also a card of healing. I feel like it's a card that can represent a healing, like a true inner healing, like a rebalancing internally that results in this type of healing. And again, with the moon in Virgo also being the sign of a healer, like I was saying in my report, this is energy where we really should be working on inwardly healing instead of, you know, maybe necessarily trying to stay on that task or on that schedule today. Like maybe give ourselves some leeway to sort of heal our emotions or sort of just like let our emotions live in this day instead of being more critical of ourselves or, you know, forcing ourselves to stay on a more rigid schedule when it's really, really difficult with Mercury, the planet ruling Virgo, where the moon is right now in opposition to the moon and all these Pisces energy, very, very difficult. And so I feel like this is saying our work right now, you know, what we need to be putting our focus and our energy into is taking this spiritual guidance and using it to help heal ourselves. And it's interesting too, because this is the last 8 card, right? And we got, you know, the 8 of Cups. This would be the moon, the 8 of Swords, this would be Mercury, and then we have this 8 of Pentacles here coming in after Temperance. So I feel like this is saying, you know, this is the bridge energy, this is the solution energy, is to really stay focused and continue to put our work into this inner balancing, this healing process as a result of these higher spiritual truths, this illumination. Look at the illumination around this angel's head that is, and also over here, you know what I mean? That is coming to us in this energy. So we need to stay focused on the task of seeking this illumination to bring us a healing and a rebalancing internally in this energy between these emotions, this emotional conflict and this mental conflict that's being represented through this 5 of Swords today, and the fact that it's probably making us feel like things aren't moving forward for us or it's hindering our process and the things falling into place the way that we need them to. So that is what we have for the energy of the tarot cards today that came in. Now let's talk about the synchronicity cards. I'm actually not going to shuffle the synchronicity cards today because when I was preparing to make this video, a bunch of stuff fell over on my table and one of the cards blew off onto the floor and landed face up and was looking at me. And I was just like, I know that this is the card that I'm supposed to use today. So anyways, we're going to use that card. But these synchronicity cards, these are just additional little pieces of guidance and advice from God that just give us, you know, a little bit of something extra to help navigate whatever we might be dealing with on this day. They are by Jana Shellman, and I absolutely love these cards. They have a very magical way of being really on point. But the card that wanted to come out today says, you will prosper. It says, who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord, Jeremiah 30:21. Know that you have love in your heart as well as emotions. Turn to God within you, fill your heart with love and faith and confidence in the one power of God, and everything that you do will prosper. So in this energy today, you know, as we have all of this very spiritual energy today, this, speaking of the tarot, talking about our work gaining this sense of illumination and, you know, trying to adhere to these this healing and this balance that's going on within us. This is telling us that we just need to believe that everything that we're working towards right now will prosper despite the appearances, despite the illusions that may be presenting themselves, the obstacles, the blockages that may be presenting themselves at this point in time, or that may feel like daunting or overwhelming or, you know, just really crazy, or like maybe we can't navigate it. We can, because things are not as they seem right now. And we just need to have faith that, you know, turn to God within, fill your heart with love and faith and confidence in the one power of God, and everything you do will prosper. And this is also a very important part, again, of that manifestation process that is so viable right now with all of this Pisces energy, all this Pisces planet and the moon in Virgo forming the opposition to Mercury today. So you guys, that is what we have for the report today. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I was able to give you something that gives you a little bit of assistance or whatever you need in navigating your day today. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they'd be interested. Please leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments. I absolutely love reading them. I love hearing what you have to say. I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you guys so much for being here and taking the time to do all that. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, on Instagram, a TikTok, and a website. Those are linked in the description, or those are in the description box below. If you're interested in donating to my channel, I also have links for that in the description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We are building into this full moon that is coming up on Friday, and we're going to have a lot more astrology to talk about as the energy intensifies over the next couple days. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.